Well then, welcome to a new video and the start of a little series on a galvanised chassis swap on a P38. This one was bought locally by a friend of mine, funnily enough, during a green laning trip. We'd done a Christmas group green laning trip in cars and got stuck down this lane, down the side of this house. The chap come out. We thought he was going to be rather angry at us, but actually he found it hilarious and said, funnily enough, he's got a Range Rover for sale. So he popped in and had a look, and here it is. So it is a 98 V8 4.6. It is, I don't know what, a HSE, there you go, 4.6 HSE. It run and drove. It had we put MOT on it and it was fine, but the chap who bought it wants to put a galvanised chassis on it. Now P38's never really rot, but that's what we're doing. You can see it's also got the rare option picnic tables, which are quite expensive. So yeah, so it's been sat for a while. The plan was, before this COVID lockdown crap, we were going to go to the shows, get a load of bits, bushes, suspension, new airbags, blah de blah de blah, and go to town on it. Obviously, because of lockdown and the shows were cancelled, nothing ever happened, and unfortunately we've lost touch for a while, obviously with the lockdown and lives getting in the way. So it's sort of sat there. The chassis has been ready and gouged for a while now, as you've seen in other videos. So now it is its time. It doesn't need it, but why the hell not? It's cheap enough to put a galv chassis under it. They're not that difficult. So we shall make a start. Now I am just going to swap everything over and get it running and driving and done, because I can't afford for it to sit here for weeks and weeks and weeks on the ramp. So I'm literally going to swap everything over, and as I do it, make a note of anything that may need doing, and then we can buy the bits and bring it back in and change bits as a complete car, because I really need to get this in, out and gone. So right, so first job, get it up on the ramp, undo all the body mounts, remove the battery, matrix pipes, wiring looms, brake pipes, etc., and then get the body up in the air. But for start with, I'm going to get it on the lift and undo the body mounts, because they're all captive on these, thankfully, not like the Discoveries where you've got to have octopus arms. I'll just be able to go underneath and buzz them all off. So that's the first job. Right, so all the body mounts undone and bagged. The two long ones are for the very rearmost mounts. I've undone the rear bumper. I've just got to do the sides and pull that off, and then take the front bumper off. So I will crack on with that. Right, well, I've gone round and undone all the body mounts, got the front and rear bumper off. They're over there. I've taken the gear selector off the gearbox, undone the wiring loom for the gearbox and transfer box, undone the handbrake cable. So now it's going to be any looms that go into the car from the engine. It's going to be EAS hoses for the air suspension, matrix hoses, probably brake pipes, etc. So I'm just gonna have a little wander around, see what I need to move, and then I'll let you know when I'm getting up in the air. Right, so I'm getting ready to undo all the last few bits to get the body off. I've just taken the rad slab panel out just to make sure there's nothing going to get caught there. We seem all right. The only thing might possibly be this little sort of wind deflector here, so I'll probably have to pop those off. Then hopefully everything will stay with the engine apart from the air con pipes. So I'll have to see what I've got to disconnect for that. I pulled that off a minute ago, but realised I don't really need to, so that'll be all right. Undone the air box from the airflow meter, but again, I'll need to move this out of the way. I've definitely got to take the live off, the ECU wiring, Matrix hoses there have got to come off. No, fuel line shouldn't have to come off. We've got, what we got there? Oh, fuel lines that look like they're on the body as well, so I'll have to check that. We've got throttle cable here. We've got cruise control cable here, will have to come off. The other thing is the air pipes for the air suspension. Now, as you can see, that one's connected, no, there, straight onto the airbag, and the actual lines go down along the body there, but I don't know if they come off the body and onto the chassis. If that's the case, then I'll pull them off the body here and disconnect them from the EAS pump that way. Otherwise, if they're all connected to the body, I'll have to take them out of each individual airbag. So I'll get it up in the air and have a look. And then, I don't think there's a great deal more, to be fair. The rad pack is bolted to the chassis and should clear. As I say, it's just the pipes for the aircon I've got to check, and these wind deflectors. And I think we're all good. Normally, when I've broken these for parts before, obviously I haven't had to be so careful. So I'm really taking my time and just making sure I'm not missing anything. And even when I think I've got everything, I'll take it up very slowly and keep checking to make sure there's nothing pulling. So, right, I will crack on. So a bit of a lucky escape there. I undone the two caps on their aircon pipes, and they're just like a Schrader valve, like you get on a tyre. So just push the screwdriver in there to open the valve just to see if anything come out, and nothing. Flat as a pancake. So we are able to undo the main pipe off the compressor. This one stays with the condenser, so that can stay on. And then we've undone the second one. So that one there is the one that I've just taken off the compressor. And this one stays with the body, and that's screwed on there. So just undo that there. And then this will stay with the chassis, and all the rest of the pipe, well, this other pipe that goes to the condenser will stay with the chassis. So I've also popped off these air diverters and just clipped them back in the other way round, just so they don't go walkabouts or missing. So right, next onto the cables and hoses. Right, so I've undone the matrix pipe here, because obviously that stays with the body and the header tank stays with the body. So that's come off there. I've undone the other matrix pipe from there. I tried to do it off the engine, but I couldn't quite get the grips in there, so that's there. I've now taken off the ECU lid, so just got to unplug those, pull them out. That can all stay there. I've got this other loom that runs around here, probably to this fuse box, so I've got to take that off as well. But we're nearly there. Right, so with the fuse box out of the way, that cable actually comes under here. Typical, the flash hasn't come on now. Comes around here. That wasn't plugged into anything, for my own records next time. We've got this plug here that comes out. We've got an earth point there, and we've got, whether you're about to see, there is some plugs down there, so it plugs into those, which obviously then go into the car. So we'll unplug those, and that's the wiring done. For this side, then it's obviously the steering column, so I've got to undo that next. Right, also down here, let's see if I can put the torch anywhere. There, you've got an earth here we've got to undo, that goes off to the engine, and the steering joint, which you should be able to see down there, just got to undo that nut that's got the blue paint on, either that one or the one you can see at 90 degrees round from it that goes straight on the steering box. Probably do the one on the blue, because as the body lifts, the joint will allow it to go at the right angle to pull out. So we will undo that, get that earth off. Next, right, got the fuel pipes off. Obviously that with the regulator goes on the left hand one, and this one goes on the right one. That was stuck as stuck can be, so I had to trim it to get it off. So I'm going to have to either replace that line, or if there's enough room, chop it down a little bit and put it back on, because this one is only flexible, you see, so I couldn't get a decent grip to be able to turn it and hold that without crushing that pipe. So once it's all out the way, we'll have a good look. Obviously that pipe there, that breather pipe, has got to be replaced because that's got a hole in it. Yeah, I think we're almost there. So I've now just got to get it up in the air, check where the air pipes go, and we'll sort that side out and undo the throttle cables. Right, I've had it up in the air, and it does see that the wiring loom and pipes go down the chassis. So I just need to pop these cable ties off, unplug it from this EAS box. I'm going to video this now so I remember which colour goes where. So red top left, blue bottom left, green top right, no colour on that bottom right. So yeah, so I've got to unplug all these, take them off the body so they can stay with the chassis. Right, so they're all unplugged and unclipped from the body, so hopefully that'll be all right. We've got to do the ABS sensors. I've done the other side now, and the brake lines have got to be undone from the top here. So I've got to undo that there, pull the pin out that holds it in, and then that should release the brake line, and that's that for both sides. The rears I'll have to go and check in a minute, but yeah, getting there. I know I keep saying that, I keep finding more. Right, well, brake lines are undone and out. Throttle cable and cruise control cable are off and disconnected from the engine. So I'll literally now going to have a look at the rear brakes, and then I think we're good to go. Something else I would have forgot if it wasn't for coming looking for the back brake lines is the prop guard. That's bolted to the body. So if I tried to lift that up with that in place, that wouldn't have come off and I wouldn't have a clue. So that's got to be undone as well. I think we should be all right with everything else. We'll soon find out as it lifts. The fuel lines are on the body and the tank's on the body, so that should be okay. Rear brake lines are up there. I can't see where they go from the top, but I presume they're on the body from there. So if I undo them there each side, there and where is it? Here somewhere. There. Up there. And then we should be good to go. Right, I'll get that prop guard off. So I've just started the lift and found a couple more bits I hadn't undone. The washer bottle connections and pipes. All I've done is just pulled the pumps out of the bottle, leave them all connected. Next is the lower, so I'll get the torch in there. That pipe on the bottom of the header tank there, that runs all the way along there and goes along down there. So that needs to come off and out of the way. I'll come back as soon as I find anything else. Found another little connector. This one here in the rad pack goes off behind with the headlight somewhere. So I need to remember that when it goes back together. Is there one the other side is the question. No. Okay. Carry on. Right, found some more fan connectors. That connector on there, I'm guessing that's the outside temperature sensor. Already got a broken wire. And these two off of the aircon system. That goes round there, so I think that's okay. They're all off already, so carry on a bit more. And another one, top rad return hose, because obviously the bottle's staying there. Next, something else I found is this earth that's on the bonnet. Now obviously it is connected to the engine down the back, but now I'm up here, I can't get to that. So I'm just going to run it out of here. It goes under here, behind the header tank, and out this little hole here. So I will pull it out that way, and hopefully that'll be our last thing. The steering has popped out, so that's all right. There's nothing else hanging except a couple of breathers, but they're all clear. So I'm hoping the next video will be a bit in the air. And there we go. She's free. So there is a P38, body and chassis separated. So now comes the fun of rotating this one around, pulling that one out and start swapping everything over. But day one, done.